Is Spider-Man... Sorry, Zoom basically shouted in my ear when I clicked the button. Recording in progress! Jeez, Louise. The fans are already shouting on my ears left and right. Both the Spider-Man fans and the MMFF fans. And now Zoom is gonna shout on my ears as well. Anyway.
Never happened that.
Is Spider-Man versus MMFF the turning point for Filipino cinema? Opening opinion, because basically our opinions are gonna change after this. So, do you think it is?
Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows?
Oh, your audio is low.
Who knows? There's a little bit of the maybe, a little bit of maybe not.
Alright. For me personally, I think it's a temporary issue for MMFF, but I don't know. It could go either way, because like fans are basically really loud here in the Philippines. Whichever side you choose, fans are really loud. So, yeah. So first and foremost, okay, credentials. So movie-wise or even video making-wise, what are your credentials, EJ?
I haven't been much in movies recently, so all of the movies I basically stick to are what people would say are for kids, but in reality, we know these quote unquote kids shows are that deep and more into the plot in terms of moral lessons and all that. Let's not forget Shrek.
Let's not forget.
Video making.
Alright.
Not forget Shrek and the other DreamWorks films. Video making wise, well, you saw my video on YouTube, right? You saw that
Yep.
one video. You know what video I'm talking about. That one video. And I made that at 11 in the evening.
Alright, fair. I won't be linking your channel anyway, so it's gonna be totally fine.
Thank fuck. Do not. That's my most viewed video though, I'll be honest.
No surprise there.
How do people find it? Anyway.
Alright, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent here, because like when I drank from my bottle glitched out, so it looked like I was kissing the air around Tom Holland. I was like, give me a smooch, big guy.
Hey.
It's like Eve being like, give me a kiss. Don't do it. Anyway, towards my credentials, during junior high, I was part of the movie club and the video club. I don't know which order it was, if I went to the movie club first, the video club, but they were 2 consecutive years, and I was in one club for the first year, another club for the second year. And it was a fun experience. I learned a lot about the value of cinematography, the value of like writing a good story, and even marketing it, and what goes into writing a good story. Been into movies since I was a kid. The first movie that I've ever watched, besides like cartoons and stuff, I believe it was King Kong, 2005 King Kong, and till this day, very critically acclaimed monster film. I'd say it's better than the 2017 King Kong movie. I like the 2005 one more. Yeah, it's still one of my favorite films. Besides that, I've done some video making while I was in the video and movie club. But like short films with not a lot of story. But like it gave me a lot of perspective on what it takes to make a video. Also like my music videos, free for profit. Yeah. It's like pretty. Yeah, I have some general idea. Yeah, those are our credentials. Next slide. So, before we talk about discussion, the sides of the discussion, we have to acknowledge our biases and then get them out of the way. So, which side are you on? Are you on the side of Spider-Man, MMFF? Are you neutral? Are you a bit of both? Are you Spider-Man but leaning more towards MMFF? Or no? Are you more into Spider-Man but open to MMFF, or are you more into MMFF open to Spider-Man? Which side are you on?
Well, I'm more into foreign movies, so I guess Spider-Man, but I can give MMFF a chance. I'll admit there are some good comedies that are good for laughs and for family movie stuff.
I agree. Me too. I'm more into the Spider-Man side of things, but I'm open to MMFF. Some of the best films that I've seen were from MMFF. So, but we'll get into
Mm.
that later. So personal history with Spider-Man and MMFF. How long have you known Spider-Man? What was your first exposure to Spider-Man? How long have you known MMFF? What was your first exposure to MMFF?
I guess I've been with Spider-Man since I was. Mm, I think I was 7 when I first watched the movie. I forgot which one. The one with Doctor Ock.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Then MMFF, I don't quite recall because these movies usually I watch with my cousins whenever we hang out. I don't particularly know, but we get a good laugh at it whenever we watch them. So it's some good, makes good memories, makes good childhood memories.
Agree. All right. So first, we're gonna tackle Spider-Man: No Way Home. For context, obviously, this was meant to be a December 2021 release. It was pushed to a January 2022 release, and that's what caused the outrage. So let's look at the arguments of Spider-Man based on the research that I gathered. There's going to be points that I will miss, but this is just from what I've gathered within a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first is, yeah, we have MMFF 2021. Low viewer turnout sparks debate on the quality of Philippine films, which we'll get to later. But I believe that the obviously it takes hundreds of thousands of pesos, if not millions, to put together a film production. And I believe for the 8 films, they were able to get 10 million pesos so far. I believe the up to this point, or a little bit like few days ago or something like that. But apparently that's a low turnout because it takes a lot of money because that was from the movies put together. Usually like
Mm-hmm.
10 million, like at least 1 or 2 films put together, like you could probably get that 10 million. But for all 8 films combined to get 10 million, it's kind of questionable.
Yeah.
But we have to bear in mind that this is during a COVID-19 pandemic, especially with the variant at large. So this could be like a product of the pandemic also. Maybe not just the opinions of Spider-Man fans or whatnot. So, what are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's what I first thought. We're in a pandemic, so there's not much people going to cinema and all. Um, does the viewer include those uh, purchasing Blu-ray DVDs, or is it no, not Blu-ray, any DVDs with those movies, or in that? Can you see MMFF in Netflix? I'm not sure.
I believe they went to streaming services, but I seriously doubt
Oh
DVDs
yeah.
because it takes a while to like transfer. But streaming
Mm-hmm.
services, I'm pretty sure they would capitalize on it. For the benefit of the discussion, let's just say they did.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home fans aren't happy about COVID-19 delays. But alright, we have to look at that. Sony has confirmed that it plans to push back the release in certain markets due to concern over recent spikes in COVID infection numbers. So it's not just because of MMFF, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also because of the pandemic. So like if people are going to the cinema at risk of their own health, even with vaccinations and all the protective gear they have, like they're still at risk, right? So like they'd probably want to risk their lives for a movie worth seeing, or at least a movie that they're familiar with. Look at the film
True.
star. Walong pelikula sa MMFF, 10 million lang ang kinita sa first day. Spider-Man sold out na agad kahit next week pang show. I believe that's a quote. I don't think that's it feels a little too
A headline.
informal to be like an actual like breaking news. Anyway,
True.
breaking news, walang pelikula sa MMFF, 10 million. Oh god. All right, it gets better. No, it's nothing's getting better. No, it might get better. Let's look. So Spider-Man fans basically to summarize their arguments. MMFF has formulaic, trash, cash grabs, or genre films. Basically, let's look at the lineup: a dark comedy, a horror anthology, two dramas, two romances, an action film, and a comedy horror movie make the lineup for the 47th. MMFF as it returns to actual cinemas from the 25th of December to the 8th of January next year. Soon. Um, um, what are your thoughts? If you were like a producer or a person hosting MMFF, would you rather have like a little something for everyone, or like basically have all films be of one or two genres and then just have them compete? That way it becomes like a fair competition. Like, which would you prefer? Like a variety or like fair competition?
I mean, I like a variety because we're talking movies, right? So basically, there's an audience for every single film that you make, and that can promote marketing also.
All right. Yeah,
Basically.
nice. All right. I agree. Something for
Mhm.
everyone. So for the Spider-Man fan side of things, that basically the argument is popularity and art dominate either way. So the popular movies will dominate the box office, and the art
Mhm.
movies are gonna dominate the awards. So like um we'll get to that later. But like there was this 2020 year 2020 entry that was like it basically got 10 nominations and 8 of those nominations won because because of like the lack of competition for 2020 because of the pandemic and all, and like just overall quality, like it definitely dominated for the most part.
Mhm.
So like here, um what are your thoughts on these thumbnails, these movie posters? Does anything strike you?
Yeah, they're bright, I should say.
Yeah.
That's the striking thing about some of the Filipino movies. The bright thumbnails on the yes, they're bright
All right.
thumbnails.
Right. Okay, fair. All right.
Like,
These were all
oh, this
MMFF
thumbnail is
entries.
bright. Yeah. Oh, this thumbnail is bright. This must be from the Philippines.
Yeah, that's how you know. Like America has all these dark like thumbnails, and Philippines has all these bright thumbnails.
I mean,
Anyway,
at least they relate to the genre of the film. I mean, all of these are comedies, if I remember, yeah.
yeah, they're all comedies.
Hmm.
Next, yeah, same argument. Popularity dominates the box office. Art dominates the awards. Except for like maybe the awards regarding box office for obvious reasons. But yeah, yeah, what tends to happen is the movies that have the largest box office numbers are the ones that have the biggest names attached to the movie. So Vic
Hmm.
Soto and Vice Ganda. Usually, those are the ones that top, and Coco Martin, not too falling behind. Yeah. Anyway, oh sorry, whoops. Scroller wheel is a bit damaged. Anyway, I'll use the arrows from now on. Next,
All right.
so Spider-Man No Way Home is like an argument for to benefit an argument from the fans is that Spider-Man No Way Home is a story with build-up, and not just in the build-up of like it being a sequel. So fans loved the first two films. They were critically acclaimed for the most part. So obviously, a build up to the third film is gonna be large. These are not our photos. Disclaimer: these are not our photos. But yeah, these are on Google Images. But yeah, marketing wise, like Spider-Man was marketing their stuff many months before the release of the film. Whereas for
Hmm.
MMFF, they want to like sort of keep their projects as surprises and then just announce them and then start marketing before the contest, which is fine. But like clearly, you're definitely gonna benefit more if you're marketing your product way beforehand. You
Hmm.
personally, if you're a Filipino movie producer, director here in the Philippines, like and you're competing for MMFF, would you want, let's say the rules were like no holds barred, would you want to market your movie months before, wherein, yeah, you could market it, but then someone could take your idea, or would you want to like keep it a secret and then just market last minute?
I mean, think about it. If you market early and someone takes it, you can already charge that for possible plagiarism. Unless it's the idea, and that doesn't necessarily apply. But think about it. Most of the popular films, including Spider-Man, uh, the Spider-Man films, they've been around for months, and you can even see those rip-off toys at the toy stores. So clearly, there's more popularity to that. You don't see a Petrang Caballo toy anywhere, do you?
I hope not. If my kid like is
Harsh.
like, Daddy, look, Petron Caballo. Like, what the fuck?
It's just a horse. I'm just Kermit's best ganda himself. But
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I choose to market it before. Yeah, a month before is good, I guess, since
All
you
right,
can
fair.
get people waiting for it.
Yeah, fair enough. I would say that, uh, hmm, actually, yeah, that's an interesting one. I'd probably market like 2 months before, but I am not sure. It's like I wouldn't want my idea being stolen, but like also dialogue and stuff. But I think like it allows for rewrites to be possible if I market a little
Mhm.
early, because like there was this one film, I don't know if it's an MMFF entry, but basically it was an I de las Alas film, and she said joke in the trailer, the movie trailer, which offended the Christian community, Catholic community.
Mm.
And so because it was marketed a little bit early, rewrites were allowed. So they basically cut that joke from the final cut of the movie. So
Mhm.
backlash from the actual product was avoided. But I guess it depends on what kind of movie. I think if it were a drama or romance film, I'd market a little earlier or much earlier, because like it's harder to steal that kind of idea. But comedy
Yeah.
and romance, I would market not too far from the actual date.
I mean, comedy and
Maybe.
romance, they're basically more on cliches rather. And even if you twist the plot a little, it still ends up with the same ending.
Next slide. So Spider-Man fan side of things. God, I love these chibis. I'm so glad I chose this
Those
art.
are so cute.
Uh, MMFF should not be intrusive. I have this story, which personally ties my like sort of beef, I guess, with MMFF. But that goes later, and it's not Spider-Man related. I'm not
Mhm.
one of those people who bandwagon on, oh, let's hate on MMFF because Spider-Man like build up and hype. No, it goes back to December of 2019 and January of 2020, way before we even were talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, or
Mhm.
way before we even knew that the title was going to be Spider-Man No Way Home. People were just calling it Spider-Man 3. But yeah, and yeah, it goes as far as that. But personally, MMFF can be quite intrusive. I mean, it's a couple of weeks, right? Like, what's a
Mhm.
couple of weeks to 365 days? But I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Is MMFF intrusive to like because we know the rules? They block out the foreign films for the duration of MMFF, so that the focus of the moviegoers would be on MMFF because it's a film festival. Except for IMAX, because obviously you cannot play them in IMAX, but like you can play foreign films in IMAX, right? Um,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on it? Is MMFF intrusive, or are they just like, defending their craft?
I mean, I guess it's part of the Filipino tradition. You have to be patriotic. You have to be proud of the country's products. But I guess blocking out foreign films is a little too much. I mean, like I said, we have an audience for every single product. So why not? make these people happy by giving them a chance, because it's not even about the movies, it's about the satisfaction of our people, basically.
So so you said that it was for the satisfaction of the people. Are
Hmm.
you speaking more from like what is the probable like audience side of things, or the behind the scenes side of things?
Probable audience, I'd say.
Probable audience. Okay, fair. I agree. For me, yeah, I agree. MMFF should give all moviegoers a chance. Like
Hmm.
there are diehard Filipino movie fans, so they're not. There are fans out there who are going to pick MMFF over Spider-Man. That's completely okay. There are fans who will pick Spider-Man over MMFF. Okay as well. It's like you said, something for everybody. Give everyone a
It's
chance.
like they're showing that the competition between what's local and what's foreign is a little too high. Like, you're I don't think the word is scared to be overpowered by the foreign films. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, something like that.
So wait, what was that again? You're, they're scared, or they're probably
No, not scared is not the word. There's something else. Like,
threatened.
I
Threatened.
guess. Mhm.
Okay,
Um. Yeah.
all right. Next slide. So let's look at the Metro Manila Film Festival side of things. All right. So first one's pretty obvious. Metro Manila Film Festival. It's for Metro Manila. Support local is the primary argument. So mauna si
Mhm.
Spider-Man, MMFF producer appeals to Filipino moviegoers. And I quote, para sa nagsasabing sana hindi natuloy ang MMFF at mauna si Spider-Man, pakihintay na lang po sa January 8. Please, in the meantime, tangkilikin naman po natin ang pelikulang Pilipinas sa attorney Joji Alonso, co-producer of Kun Maupay Man at Panahon, to loud applause. Kun Maupay Man at Panahon is actually one of the more critically acclaimed films of this year's film festival.
Mm.
So he speaks from authority, because like obviously critically acclaimed film, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, next, yeah, same. Filipinos urged to support MMF films amid reports of low turnout of moviegoers in open. I have a Facebook friend who replied to this whole situation. We'll get to that later.
Mm.
So, what do you think was the larger thing that contributed to the low turnout of moviegoers? Was it more Spider-Man, or was it more the pandemic and health concerns? Or is it like a perfect balance? Which one's heavier?
I guess it's a perfect balance. I mean, there are a lot of people who are bummed out that Spider-Man has to be delayed instead of just releasing it the moment the MMFF films are going to be streamed. That's correct. Yeah. And as for the pandemic, of course, we still have our limitations. How is the situation like there in Manila? Because in Baguio, I mean, it's very much lifted already here. I mean, not really lifted, but we already don't have the face shields and all. There are a lot of people here coming during Christmas. What about yours?
Damn it! Damn it! I could have gone there and avoided
Oh,
the
it's
MMFF.
good
Damn
that you
it!
don't go here. God, the
Why?
traffic, the crowds.
Traffic and crowds. Okay, fair enough. But like, god damn it, fuck.
For your
Um,
safety, babe.
that's time I can't get back, but that's okay because maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Okay, but like, yeah, Metro Manila here is like it's stricter for sure. You cannot
Mm.
purchase items without a vaccination card. Um,
Mm.
yes, as in I wanted to get my meal, and this person was like, "Oh, you don't have a vaccination card. Sorry, I can't serve you. It's
Oh.
company policy." I was like, "Fine, I guess I'll starve, motherfucker." I'm
Actually,
just
for
kidding.
us, we have this website for our city where we can just download the um card to say our credentials for vaccination. It's all in the QR code. I can just download that on my phone, then show it if someone's going to look for it. But actually, not much people look for the vaccination card here. You serve, you
Oh,
serve. But that's
alright.
a little bit of an issue because there's so many crowds. It's
Yeah.
so crowded.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
suffocating. Anyway.
Yeah. Just a joke, by the way. I didn't insult a worker. That was just a joke. I respectfully left. I respectfully left, but it was like a salty like fine. But like I was very respectful.
Mhm.
Just not the up to par respectful. Just the bare minimum
Respectful as
respectful.
Jeremy Marion King.
Fine, I guess I'll starve. Anyway, so yeah, so you said it's a perfect balance between the outrage from Spider-Man fans and Marvel fans and the pandemic limitations.
Mhm.
I think it's a little more towards like maybe like 52% for the pandemic, 48% for Spider-Man. Because like damn, the variant is a killer. So yeah, I think it's that. A little bit
Mhm.
towards the pandemic for me. Next slide. So the MMFF fans side of things. Underground has the gold. So basically, yeah, sure, though like genre films like dominate the box office, but the gold mine of films, they have the awards. So like it's not that all the films are bad. It's just that the ones that are bad are on top and they're the ones that are popular. So yeah.
Mhm.
As you can see here, Fangirl dominates MMFF 2020 Gabi ng Parangal. Fangirl is a critically acclaimed film which basically said it was a film about a fangirl who was lucky enough to spend the night with a fictionalized version of her idol. And
Mhm.
so that's where the story revolved around. And it basically like tackles like hero worship and stuff like that, especially here in the Philippines. That's a common thing for fangirls and like K-pop idols and Filipino actors and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a
Uh-huh.
critically acclaimed film. I haven't watched it, but I guess I'll recommend it. Next slide. MMFF has options, and it happens once a year. So, like you said, MMFF has a lot of options. This was 2019, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 2019.
I have
The
to
More
ask.
the Merrier, Mission Unstoppable, Triple Trouble, Mindanao. I cropped that wrong. I'm an idiot. It's Mindanao.
It's okay,
No.
babe.
I
It's
wrecked my whole
Mindanao.
argument. Miracle in Cell Number 7, which I'll get to that later because like that's a really really good film. Highly recommend it.
Mm.
Pulion, Sunod, I think I watched that, not sure. Right About Love. Mm,
It's okay.
sorry. It's just that
I mean,
with the
even
Mindanao.
the little bit on the more the merrier.
Yeah. Um my thoughts on that. Goodness, why is there all like why did you word yourself like the competition? Shit. Anyway, I've
It's
watched The Mall the Merrier,
Filipino spelling,
Miracle.
I guess.
Yeah. I watched Mall, Miracle, and Sunod. I'm not sure. Because like how did you experience MMFF where you're from?
um,
What
no,
like
I guess
is it like do you watch every single one? Do you watch like nitpick? Like how does your
no, we
family
just,
do it?
I mean, family referring to me and my cousin usually, because
Ah,
when I sleep over there, we watch films, right? So we just come across these comedies, and my cousin just, wait, panoorin mo yan, panoorin natin, nakakatawa yan, parang ganun. So mostly our basis is comedy. As for my aunt's place, I've been there earlier. I was watching BuzzFeed Unsolved on their TV while passed out. Um, they usually go for the more dramatic side, but my aunt is more for K dramas or Bollywood films, Bollywood drama films. These films, I guess when they want to watch horror,
ah,
so it's either comedy or horror for me. And for horror, I guess I just stare blankly at it, but for comedy, I guess I got a good laugh.
okay. For my family's case, how we do it is it's usually my side of the family, and then either spend with time with the father's side of the family or the mother's side of the family. Usually one side at a time, but there are times wherein we all get together as one big family. Usually what happens is we go to the theaters, and it's either drama first then comedy next, or horror then comedy, or comedy then horror, or drama then horror. Usually it's comedy, drama, horror, and then you get 2 out of those 3 genres. And like not all 3, but it's like 2 of those 3. Just like get your pick.
Oh yeah,
So,
God,
but
that
usually,
reminds me.
yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
you were saying?
The because like drama is a release of drama, and horror are a build-up of tension, and comedy is a release of tension. So usually comedy goes last, and then usually it's kind of an outlier to go drama then horror, because like it's build-up of tension, especially like I'm not much of an escapism type of person when watching a film, unless in extreme cases. But my mother's side of the family certainly is. What they watch movies for escapism. So comedy for their sake is a staple. Usually vice ganda. You were saying?
Same. The thing is, with these movies, we cannot. I mean, personally, I cannot watch action. They pick action movies. There are times they pick action movies. Then sometimes my grandma just comments that this movie is too brutal. I can't watch this. Let's change the film. We're already halfway through the film. Now you just said it's brutal. Now you just said it's too violent for your sake. God.
Well, why'd you buy the ticket? That's kind of a waste of money.
Yeah, we don't go to movie theaters. We have our own.
All right.
So it's
Gotcha.
just living room or in front of the PC for my cousin anyway.
All right, gotcha. Like streaming or buy a copy?
Depends. Streaming mostly. They have their own Netflix.
Gotcha. Next slide. So we can both agree that MMFF has Okay, next slide. The MMFF fans side of things. There are Marvel fans that watch MMFF, so give it a chance. This is a article by Sinigang.ph in case anyone wants to know. It's a nice thumbnail, by the way. It's Spider-Man running from MMFF. Like
they would have. The quality would have been better, but no, seriously. I mean, is that the image itself, or
that's the image. These are screenshots.
the quality would have been better. I'll be honest. If I'm gonna be honest.
I could have cropped it better, but
also the Jeep needs to be seen better.
Yeah. Like look at this, man. That's a nice.
Yeah.
One. I like how my background is Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and MJ versus a freaking Jeep.
And mine's just.
No,
mine's just a model
good.
studio.
Yours is
just
good.
a model studio.
You look like you got early. You're an early bird, and you're setting up the studio. And no, you're literally the first there because you're the director / producer. You're there.
Vamos! I'll just either scold every single one of my co-workers in Spanish or French. French more likely.
Yeah. There is a little bit of a tangent related to this argument here, and it's that there are Filipino films. This is not related to MMFF, but you can start related to Filipino cinema, given that that's the umbrella term, right? There are Filipino films that are critically acclaimed in other countries, so we can relate that here. Like they win in, or they hold their own in festivals that are abroad. Like so. So, but that's usually the quality films, not our like bitch baby films, but the quality films. This is interesting. Because like I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who made this article. My current school is a webbed community, so Spider-Man webbed. It's a web community, and everyone is connected to everyone else through someone, right? And yeah, I read the whole article, and he's sort of like open to both sides, because he grew up with both kinds of films. He grew up with Filipino films, grew up with Spider-Man films. Basically, he's open to both sides. But I can definitely, yeah, he said that, oh, I'm disappointed that Spider-Man No Way Home is not going to be released this year. It's going to be released next year. But everything after that feels like it's very much leaning towards the MMFF side. So I can sense a bit of bias there. Because sense a bit of Filipino pride bias of well, yeah, we're Filipino, so we have to support the Filipino movies, no matter what movies they are. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on that? There are Marvel fans that watch MMFF, so you give it a chance. What are your thoughts on that kind of argument? Sinigang.ph side of things.
I mean, I guess if the Marvel fans are up for it, sure. But what about those Marvel fans that don't watch MMFF or prefer not to, if ever?
All right.
Yeah, it's basically that 50-50 mixture of sides. But since we're talking the schedule from someone who is authorized to schedule the releases, then what can we do anyway? We live in a patriarchic country where we have to, well, be proud of whatever we have, no matter how shit it is.
All right, fair. Yeah. Okay, next. MMFF fan side of things. There were no pandering movies for 2021. There were, well, fuck. I say as I see Exorcist. Fuck. There goes my argument. Shit. But yeah, these were films that were critically acclaimed. Oh no, this one. Huling Ulan, I believe that's an okay film. Kung Manupay was a great film. Love at First Stream was decent. Big Night was good. I'm not sure about For a Hard Day, Wag Kang Lalabas, and Exorcist. I know Exorcist is a shit film. Just look at it. But the other yeah, but the other 7 entries have a very good fighting chance, especially kung Kunman, Upayman, at Panahon. Jeez Louise, how am I gonna market this title? Oh my god. If I were a marketing person, that would be a nightmare title to market. It's oh, I'm gonna market Kun Maupay
KMMP.
Panahon. Yeah, KMMIP. Kumip.
Because
Pisses. Anyway, yeah. Alright. But I believe it was Exorcist that had less than 10,000 box office on the first day or first week. I believe it was oof, my goodness, that would be a nightmare. Yeah. So I think this is a thriller. I think this is a romance, narrative, action, thriller, and then horror anthology. And then this is a comedy horror. But for the MMFF fan side of things, they say that there are no pandering movies for 2021. Wala namang Vice Ganda, wala namang Vic Soto ngayon. So basically, every problem of the Filipino cinema is gone, right? No harm, no foul, out of sight, out of mind, right? I would say these 7 entries have a really good fighting chance, especially Kun Maupay Man at Panahon. For me. Have you seen any of these?
No.
Not yet.
I haven't watched movies much. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't these movies are already struggling. I'm not gonna illegally stream them. But I'm also not gonna risk my life to go out of my way and probably die. I'll die for Spider-Man. Yes, my boy, my sweet child. It's like that James Franco meme. All I have now is Spider-Man. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the strength of the film festival lies in the support of the fans, or the strength of a film festival lies in the entries, or is it a bit of both? Or if ever it's both, where do you lean more towards? Is the strength of the film festival based on the movie entries, or is it based on the number of supporters?
A little bit of both, but I guess more of the fans because I mean that's how the rankings go up, right? It's solely based on those who watch it. So if they like it, that's the point. If they don't, then how do I say this delicately? If they don't, then they don't. Just say that.
All right. Fair. Next question is, who do you think is more important to please, the critics or the fans? If you could only please one, obviously you want to please both, but if you could only please one, who would you choose?
I guess it's the
Hypothetically,
fans.
fans.
I mean, you have a much bigger audience. The critiques are just critiques. But I guess they can provide for improvements. Can't say you can impress them always, but at least you got to make some people smile out of it.
I'd probably choose the critics, but not to like not care about fans. But for me personally, if I please the critics, there will be like people out there, the ones that know that I produced gold, and like underground is where you'll find gold, and the ones that find the gold, like, good for them, because like I brought value to their lives.
Yeah.
I think that if I always please the fans, I might not always please the critics. But if I always please the critics, I will please some fans at least. But that's just me. All right, next slide. So we're gonna talk about the interesting portion, which is the limitations of both arguments, both the Spider-Man and the MMFF side of it. Next, the limitations of the which do you want to go first? The limitations of Spider-Man or the limitations of MMFF? Which are you more interested to go first? It's a choose your own adventure.
Yes, we already went with Spider-Man first, so let's go with that.
All right, Spider-Man first. So the limitations is that superhero cinema fans, just like every cinema fans, like they have some bias, so they're most likely open to similar narrative styles, whether it's movies, TV series, anime, video games. They're most likely gonna be more open to narrative styles that fit their already present tastes. Not much of a big insight, but the limitation is that there's a bit of bias, And next is that it was the pandemic that pushed the release of Spider-Man No Way Home, not MMFF, which makes the outrage from Marvel fans somewhat exaggerated and unnecessary, just a little bit. Next, the MCU has slip-ups as well, like Thor: The Dark World, Incredible Hulk, and Eternals. If we're talking critics' ratings, there were slip-ups as well, although entertaining, like narrative limitations. Next, the MMFF has noticeable improvements with critically acclaimed movie entries, like Kung Man It.
Commit.
Commit. And finally, Spider-Man and Marvel films will be on higher quality definition releases, like Blu-ray, like 4K HD, I believe. While MMFF entries never will. So even if the Spider-Man film will be delayed, and like just December films in general, like the big blockbuster films that will be released on December's, they will be delayed most likely. But they will be released on higher quality definition releases like Blu-ray and 4K HD. So they still have an advantage, and they will still make more money. And that's still an objectively quality like movie experience from your home. Like, imagine a theater release like quality of film in your home. Like, you might as well be in the theater, but you're lounging on your couch and you're watching Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
In quality, no buffers.
I mean, technically, we did have the theater experience. We saw people walking up and down the aisles. We saw some
Yeah.
people passing by here and there. The
Uh,
movie suddenly goes blurry from probably staring at it for too long, you know?
yeah. Well, fair enough.
Brain.
But in the theater, it doesn't buffer. Doctor
True.
Strange doesn't do his magic shit, and then all of a sudden, the theater like gets a ring as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Next, the limitations of the MMFF fans argument. Purist supporters are also biased and or hypocritical. You know, um, support local is a little too forgiving. So when I talk about purist supporters, I am not talking about the supporters of MMFF who are open to Spider-Man or Marvel films or blockbuster films. I'm not talking about MMFF films in general, specifically talking about purist supporters. So these are the Twitter keyboard warriors who are basically like jumping into arguments for the sake of creating noise, even though they have no idea what they're talking about. Like they're just like saying they're just gonna like state like, oh, support local, you know what I mean, because we're Filipinos, and then that's it, they leave. And then
Mm.
they didn't really say anything. They'll be like, I saw this one person who was like um like all of you people who are saying support Spider-Man No Way Home are basically like gonna stream it online illegally anyway, so you're not really supporting Spider-Man No Way Home. Like hashtag support local, basically something like that. And the problem with these purist supporters is that you take one look into their profile, and it's basically like, oh my god. Like this is a person who's
How do
obviously
they
like
have time?
this is a person who's obviously like just jumping into a conversation without creating any like intellectual value, and they're just like saying things for the sake of saying things, and
Mhm.
basically just saying support local. That's pretty much their only argument to bring up. It's support local. Unlike the people who are open to both sides of the argument. Next, drama and romance are our strongest movie genres, debatably, but drama definitely. Romance, we can argue about that, but drama is definitely our strongest movie genre. But they are
Mhm.
predictable to some extent as well, and other countries are keeping up. I saw this post from Eric Matty. I don't know if he's a director or producer. He basically was bashing K-pop. Oh no, not K-pop. K-drama fans. Basically saying like this is the most white bread shit I've ever seen. Like all the actors and actresses are so white and like catering to something like he said something like, oh, it's formulaic or something like that. And to that I say drama is our strongest movie genre, but other countries are keeping up very fast, especially Korea,
Mhm.
because the reason why K-drama fans are a lot is because the drama has a lot of depth to it. There's not much formulaicness to it. I mean, like
Yeah.
just look at Squid Game. Just look at Squid Game. Like, and look at like, I don't know, what was that?
Provinciano.
The no. There's like a zombie like Korean drama film. It was like I forgot the
Train to
name.
Busan.
No. It was a TV
Oh.
series. It was a TV series.
Ah, I see.
Anyway, we'll get to that later. But like the point
Oh,
is,
yeah.
they other countries are keeping up, especially Korea. So
Mhm.
they have contenders to our like drama. Like we're the undisputed kings and queens of drama in the Southeast Asia. Other countries are keeping up. Next, MMFF still makes the mistake. This is just me, a mistake of including the genre films, making the contest more of a genre free for all at times. So the advantage of MMFF is that there's something for everyone. So like you just pick the genre that you like and you're gonna have something. But the problem
Mhm.
is that would be fine if it was just a festival. But given how it's a contest with awards and stuff, it's a contest, right? So they're gonna be competing with each other. It becomes more of a genre free for all, and it becomes kind of like an uneven arm wrestling match. So
Mhm.
like drama, the reason why drama is our strongest movie genre is because the other genres don't have as much depth to compete. Yeah, if it's cinematography, the dialogue, the acting, like drama just it's all of those on
The green
steroids, which
screen.
is why, yeah, which is why it the other genre struggle. So yeah, genre free for all. Next is the MMFF has less accessible quality films, while the less up to par films are more accessible. Self-explanatory. Like what I said,
Mhm.
popularity and art dominate in their own way. Popularity dominates the box office, and the art movies dominate the awards. But like both of them win, but also both of them lose because of accessibility. And the last limitation of the MMFF fans argument is not all Spider-Man fans are biased. Um, they're not all like anti-support local people. Like they're not all that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if you look at like series like Trece and Hayop Ka, which are both like very popular, very amazing shows, go check them out. Like it shows that Filipino fans, movie fans, series fans are willing to support these stories. They just have to cater to them. They just have to be accessible, and they will watch. You know, not all Spider-Man fans are biased. You know, so
Yeah.
among these, which do you think had more weight? Which among these slides, which had more weight to it? Which side has more limitations to it? Oh wait, no, shit. Do you have something to add for the Spider-Man side? The limitations for the Spider-Man side.
No, I think those are good. Both are good,
Alright.
actually.
Going once, going twice. Okay. What about the MMFF fans argument? Is there something you would add? Is there something I missed?
No, I agree. Those are basically it. Like you already
Alright.
explained it, and it's there. So yeah.
Okay. Which argument, which side of the story has more limitations? Or well, they're both 5 bullet points, but like which one has heavier limitations?
In terms of
Like
limitations for what?
um, basically like you want as much legs to stand on as much as possible, right? For your
Mhm.
arguments. So like basically these limitations add a lot more wobble to the argument. So like which one has more limitations?
Hmm. I'm not sure because they both have good points, but I guess yeah, MMFF has more limitations because considering the product of whatever we create, we always have issues with internet, our supplies, our the devices that we use, right?
Hmm.
So we can the MMFF should I should be saying this. The MMFF should never actually compete with Spider-Man, actually, or
Yeah,
any other films. It shouldn't be a competition.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Fair, fair. For me, oh, um, hmm. actually tough also for me because like there's definitely times wherein I'd rather watch a Filipino film, and there's definitely times
Hmm.
where I'd rather watch a blockbuster film. It's more of like it's case to case basis because like look at here, Thor: The Dark World, Incredible Hulk, and Eternals. Like these are subpar films, just in general,
Hmm.
not just like Marvel standards, but in general, they're subpar. So like there's like I think 100 Filipino films that can surpass that. These three specific films. Because these are like the lowest points. Um, uh, it's tough also because like the pandemic pushed the release of No Way Home, not MMFF. So like
Yeah.
that's like the big argument that Marvel fans have, right? It's that
Hmm.
oh MMFF made cancel like the Spider-Man No Way Home, but really it's the pandemic. It's the distributors of No Way Home that decided that, not MMFF. So it's tough for me though. Wait, I I
I
think
mean, it shouldn't be a competition because we're competing uh products between what is America, first world country, and the third world country.
yeah we're third world.
Yeah, so that's already a bias on its own.
But this isn't a competition between this debate
Yeah.
is not a
Mm-hmm.
competition of which is better, No Way Home or MMFF, but like it's more of the debate of the fans, who
Yeah.
is more right, who has more legs to stand on in this debate. Let's say they go on all out war, like fucking lawyer style, but like who wins the discussion, you know what I mean? Me personally, I think Spider-Man side has a little more to stand on. It's really the
Yeah.
pandemic pushed the release, the second bullet point that hurts it for me. It's like
Mm-hmm.
um it really hurts it for me because like if it really was MMFF that pushed the Spider-Man No Way Home release, I would definitely be on the side of Spider-Man. But the thing is, it wasn't. It was the pandemic that pushed it. Okay. I think it's MMFF that has less legs to stand on because of the genre free for all argument. I think because like
Yeah.
if they were all making drama films and they were competing with each other, um, it would be a very fair competition. But because it's a smorgasbord of different genres, they're all fighting with each other. Well, not fighting, but they're competing against each other, and it becomes a very imbalanced like competition. And yeah, drama being our strongest genre, um, it's kind of a limitation because it's less accessible compared to the more like accessible ones. So if
Mm-hmm.
their drama films were more accessible, my goodness, our movie industry would be awesome. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the thing is, not all the time. And also the purist supporters. There are a lot. I can confidently say there are a lot more purist supporters for MMFF compared to Spider-Man. Because like the Spider-Man films, the Spider-Man fans may or may not be like purists, but like they're definitely not just gonna be like oh shit, they are purists in their own way. They said hashtag abolish MMFF.
Oh.
Okay, so are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. I don't
No.
follow.
It's been popular in Facebook and I believe Twitter. I'm not sure. Um,
Hmm.
Definitely Facebook and maybe Twitter. I'm not active on Twitter, but so there's definitely purists on both sides. But like, I think the purists of Spider-Man have a few more legs to stand on. Get it? Because it's
Yeah.
Spider. But like,
Uh-huh.
but like, because it's
I
like
thought you were referring
Spider.
to international relations, but okay.
But by legs to stand on, I mean the argument has more legs to
Yeah.
stand on. But like, I think with Spider-Man, kasi it's like the fans they've been fed shit, Filipino films. So that's all they know. So they're
Mm-hmm.
all they see is like Vice Ganda shit and Vic Soto stuff. So like I don't blame them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the purist supporters feel more like blind followers to me, as opposed to the Spider-Man purists.
True.
But yeah. Um yeah, I think MMFF has less legs to stand on. The argument has less legs to stand on. Next,
Mm-hmm.
personal opinions. What are your thoughts on this whole discussion? So, from your side of things, you think Spider-Man wins a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Correct me if
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong. Okay, Spider-Man wins a little bit. For me, also, I think Spider-Man wins a little bit. There. What are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if I'm a little more informed on the MMFF films, then I guess I would have a different say on it.
Mm,
But
yeah,
uh, since Spider-Man is basically more linked to my childhood compared to those Filipino films, because I grew up on foreign films. I grew up on Disney, Barney, and other stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, I'm more attached to Spider-Man compared to the local films. But I can give local films a chance if ever.
I agree. I can give Liverpool films a chance if ever, especially in a family gathering wherein I have literally nothing else to watch. Because those are your rules, motherfucker! Those are your rules!
You're just talking to your pillows. Why are you screaming at your pillows? What'd the door do?
What did we do? The Jeep.
I mean, the Jeep I can accept. I can get angry with that.
I
It
can
knocked
get
off
angry
my
with the
water
Jeep.
bottle.
Yeah, what kind of like vehicle is makes you sway side to side? Like, isn't the idea of a vehicle to be comfortable
I mean,
and to get you from point A to point B without getting a
honestly,
concussion?
I'm kind of uncomfortable, but the fact that the Jeep breaks and I have to be forced. I have to be forced to socialize with someone beside me just to say sorry. Sorry
Yeah,
for having to carry my weight because the driver did not know how to damn press the brakes. You know?
yeah. So fuck you. Give me my book, baby. Oh my god. Anyway, I would say that I would say confidently, there it goes again.
I genuinely wish this had alcohol right now. I genuinely wish.
I confidently say that I agree more with the Spider-Man side of things for the fans, because like the MMFF entries can seem they're critically acclaimed, but they can seem kind of forgettable. Okay, pop quiz. What is the critically acclaimed film which won all the awards in MMFF 2020? Go.
I have no idea.
It was Fangirl. See, I just talked to you about it like 30 minutes
Alright.
ago. Fangirl. All right.
I hate pop quizzes.
See, they're kind of like forgettable, right? Quiz me on the. I'm gonna like wait. I'm gonna fucking. Okay. Okay. Fuck. All right. I'm not looking at the titles. Pop quiz me about the titles. MMFF. I'm not looking at my screen.
What was the movie that you cropped so bad? You missed a letter.
Mindanao. Mindanao.
And
Mindanao. I got it right.
And?
It's Mindanao. Oh, I don't know. Fuck. I don't know.
Model.
Right about now.
You cropped the Evan model little off.
Oh. All right. All right. Let's talk about personal opinions. Miracle in Cell Number 7 was a great film, but the thing is, it's a remake of a Korean drama.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking also. Cause, wait, wasn't this a Korean film before when I saw the Filipino? Cause, I watched bits of it when we were at my aunt's, the Korean version. Then I saw at my cousin's the Filipino version of the movie, and I'm like, wait, did we watch this? You get me? Like,
yeah.
Hey, this is not the person who played that what I watched earlier.
I see. Yeah. The remake was good, but it just misses one thing that major plot detail that detracts from the film and the realism of it is that the father, spoiler alert, well,
It's
have
okay.
you seen the
I
film?
watched it.
Okay.
I've seen the bits. I know a bit of the plot.
All right. The father is sentenced to death penalty. Whether or not it pushes through, I'm not gonna say. But the father is sentenced to death penalty. Death penalty does not exist in the Philippines. So it's just a tiny bit of a nitpick, but like I don't know, just my opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
Great film, by the way. There's another drama film that I absolutely love in MMF. I hope it's here. No, it's not in 2021. No, I think it was a different year. But like yeah, usually we go for drama, horror, and comedy. But yeah. Anyway, closing thoughts. What's next for Filipino cinema?
I guess continuous development and stuff like that. But keep some of the classics, I guess, for the sake of the viewership.
All right. I think that Spider-Man No Way Home is gonna. I think the discussion is definitely gonna be. It's gonna be brought up again once MMFF stumbles upon the wrong release date and they there's a blockbuster that they decide should be put in January instead of December. I think this discussion is gonna be brought back. It's gonna come back with the firing rage. Like, you did this before, now you're gonna do this. Going back to personal opinions, I was looking, I grew up on kung fu films, right? Jackie Chan
Yeah.
and Bruce Lee films. Absolutely, I'm a huge fan of those guys. So, Ip Man 4, IPMAN 4, was a film that I was very much looking forward to because it's a modern kung fu film, and it's critically acclaimed. It had Scott Adkins, which is one of my favorite action stars in underground cinema, and he was gonna be the main villain of Ip Man 4. Donnie Yen, great leading actor for Ip Man 4, and the Ip Man quadrilogy. All the films were amazing, but it was set to release for December 2019. But the problem was because of the MMFF. I believe it was MMFF that caused this. But from a December 2019 release, it was moved to a March release. A March release. My goodness, not even January. Sorry,
That's worse. Jesus Christ.
I went from 1 to 169 in 10 seconds. It's like went from December 2019 to March 2020. Are you kidding me? Like, the pandemic already arrived and then that's when you release it. Like, I get it. The pandemic, like, it was gonna start
unpredictable,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but I get it. But like, at the very least, the product should have been here by January, and then you'd been getting ready to produce it, and then you release it on February. Fine.
Yeah.
But March 2020, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I wasn't angry with you, motherfucker, because of Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, I didn't jump the bandwagon because of Spider-Man No Way Home. I jumped the bandwagon with Spider-Man No Way Home fans because of Ip Man 4. Like, this is a film that was very dear to me. It had a lot of symbolism, which brought me back to my childhood. And especially at that point, I was very much active training in martial arts. Not as much now because of the pandemic, right? But I was very much active in training martial arts, and now I absolutely love Bruce Lee philosophies and all that. Like, I was looking forward to this film. This was the end game of kung fu films. Like, this was the end for all kung fu films. The finale, and it'll be moved to March, like more than 3 months, or at least almost 3 months, after it's released. Good God, man. But yeah, it's just like, God damn, MMFF can be so intrusive at times. We've gone through the objective stuff. This is all subjective now. Mother, what the fuck?
Mother, what the fuck? That's you.
Mother of fuck. Anyway.
Mother, what the fuck?
So,
as a mother of fuck. Anyway.
So, what's next? For Filipino cinema, in my opinion, this discussion will be brought back once MMFF stumbles upon a very questionable release. Like, what's gonna happen is this Spider-Man No Way Home versus MMFF discussion will be brought back, but it's not gonna be Spider-Man versus MMFF. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be probably another Marvel film because they love the December releases. Star Wars is pretty much done for, right? They ended the saga, so Marvel's the big franchise now, right? So it's gonna be a different Marvel film for sure, or a big foreign film that's highly anticipated. But yeah, I think the discussion's gonna be brought back. So for you, is Spider-Man versus MMFF the turning point for Filipino cinema?
I guess not entirely, but it contributes.
Contributes how?
Yeah.
How does it contribute?
I mean, you said, right, the release of the movie we're looking forward to dearly was moved. Probably because of that fucking Jeep.
Like the black cat.
Yeah. And yeah, now it happened again with I suppose a more popular film. So what does MMFF expect if another potentially popular film will be released on December? but they have to move it again because of the festival. I mean, you had your inputs. Why don't you apply them already? It happened probably more than twice, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I agree.
Yeah, it's basically like schooling. Jesus Christ, this already happened, so you don't do that for this
Yeah.
not to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that MMFF is not gonna learn. I think that something has to really slap them in the face to make them learn. Not literally, but like because
Probably literally.
they might attribute the lack of success for MMFF monetary wise to the pandemic. They might relate it to the pandemic and not Spider-Man, you know. I feel like that's what's gonna be the cause for them to repeat the same mistake. They're gonna attribute it with the pandemic and not Spider-Man. But yeah, what I would do, what I would change, don't make MMFF December, make it November.
True.
That's what I would do. But make it November, but looser. That way, the festival is 2 months long, but it's not too strict. Let's say November, half of the cinema is the MMFF entries, and the other half is everything else, the foreign movies. Great. Or even Filipino films that aren't part of the festival, but still want to be a part of the community, you know, the cinema community. That's the other half. So we got the blockbuster films and the non-MMFF Filipino films, and the other half is the MMFF entries. And then that's it. That's all of that for the whole November and all of December. That way, not only does the contest like go for literally 1/6 of the entire year, which is a lot, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But like the people who decide the awards get to think about the decisions, like who should win. You know what I mean? They get to really think about that because they have 2 months to think about that. It's a lot of input, you know, as opposed to 2 to 3 weeks of like festival, and it's like you get absolutely nothing except MMFF. You get MMFF or you die. You know,
True.
it's like
Yeah.
give your viewers a chance, you know, like you said, like give them the option, you know, and then the rest is up to them. Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Nah, those are actually pretty good points. Like, balance it out. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that we're in a patriarchic country means we all have to be patriarchic. I mean, the Philippines is already a very cringeworthy country.
Yeah. That's another thing that I was going to say. Thank you for bringing that up. The limitations of the Spider-Man fans argument. The pure supporters that are biased and are hypocritical. They are. Thank you for saying the C word. But basically, like the people who say that support local are the ones who support like cringy YouTubers and shit. You know, so it's like, yeah, very much limitation. I guess to close this out, both sides of the argument have limitations. It's just that MMFF has more limitations, and it's not because foreign film versus local film, but it's because of the fans. You know, the fans have less legs to stand on because they're literally fighting. Oh my god. Anyway, so is Spider-Man versus MMFF the turning point for Filipino cinema? Not quite yet, but it's gonna be a step into probably a heated battle, if not all-out war between foreign films and local films. Yeah, it's gonna be an all-out war. Who would win? Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and MJ, or a fucking jeep?
Hey, did you watch Sinesquela when you were in grade school?
What's in the eskwela?
Oh,
Apologies.
because
What's that?
our teacher usually moved us to the lab before because if she's too lazy to discuss, actually ABS-CBN went to our school to give the materials. Yeah, I was on TV for a few seconds, but I didn't see myself.
Mm,
Yeah, but
show me,
AB,
show me, show.
I did not see it. I did not see me because the airing was 6 p.m. I arrived 7 because my fucking parents forgot to pick me up again.
Let's see.
Anyway, um, sinescola. They gave the material to the school. By ABS, they they shot the film. They did not shoot us for a bit.
All right.
And whenever we're at the science lab, because the topics are mostly science related, so I guess it's a more understandable way to lay out the lessons that you learn in science, but also a little bit of fun. So generally, the plot was a few kids, their teacher, in a jeep. It's kind of like Magic School Bus, but instead it's a jeep. And
I see.
basically, the jeep travels everywhere. Could be anywhere. But yeah.
All right. I see. It's interesting. We should talk about that more later. But to close this out, is Spider-Man versus the Metro Manila Film Festival the turning point for Filipino cinema? No, but it's definitely a start towards a new discussion, which could turn into a heated battle, which could turn to an all-out war between the MCU and the MMFF, especially with the fans being very heated on both sides. All right. So I think we succeeded in discussing this. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Yeah, thank you so much, EJ Doctor. Oh no, is that Spider-Man swinging in to beat up a jeepney? Ah!